Think I've lost my voice a little bit after that. Jesus. Boy, we left it late, didn't we? Thank you, Lacazette, for rescuing a point against Crystal Palace at home. Man, it's difficult, isn't it, being an Arsenal fan? Just the emotions, it's literally this throughout games. And, you know, I've got things to talk about in this episode of Operation Arsenal, which, by the way, look, there's quite a few new people around here since FIFA came out. So if you've recently subscribed or come over from Facebook, whatever, thank you for being here. This series is a chance for me to vent, basically. The last 10 years as an Arsenal fan, you know, whilst doing YouTube, I've always felt like it's a great platform to talk about my feelings, and it's an outlet. So thank you for being here and thank you for listening. And a reminder to most people and to all the people that have just joined, what this series is just an unscripted, there's no notes, there's no cuts, it is raw emotion, literally within half an hour of a game finishing, and then it's uploaded. So you really do get the raw emotion. So that's what Operation Arsenal is all about, and this is one of the best kind of games for this series, where we start well, we're awful, and then we rescue a point at the end. Let's talk about Crystal Palace first, because they deserve to win this game. Patrick Vieira, legend of Arsenal, one of my favourite players growing up. You know, I watched the Invincibles every week, win every game or draw, and he was instrumental, and I can say this safely, he's going to be a top coach. The way he's got Crystal Palace playing, the way that just in a few months they've completely rebranded themselves as a team that play really quite good football. You know, they look good. And I really felt like tonight they've been unlucky to, again, concede in injury time and not win the game. It happened, was it Brighton? I think it was Mopai who scored. Yeah, that's really gutting for them. So if you're a Palace fan watching this, trust me, you're not gonna be disappointed by this review, because genuinely, yeah, we scraped a point at the end there and we got very lucky. So unlucky to Palace fans. And as I said, Patrick Vieira, top coach. I think he will do great things for Crystal Palace. And I think eventually this will be a stepping stone and he will go on to do great things. And I think that's going to be the same with Arteta. I think Arteta's obviously earlier in the process than Vieira. Vieira's done a lot more international stuff, and this is Arteta's first job. But they're on that pathway, and I think they're both going to be great coaches. Whether they stay at these clubs or not, we will see. But fair play Palace. They've got some cracking players in there. New signing, Edouard, a target of Arsenal's over the last few years. Not sure about that goal. I'm still questioning how that's gone in. I think that's the first time, for me at least, that I've looked at Ramsdale's positioning and thought, ooh, not so good. Otherwise, he's been pretty much perfect. So, yeah, I'm not sure that one should have gone in. But they've also brought in a player that I highly regard, and that is Olise. He came on and did a good job from Reading. I think it was superb player, young player. They've got Eze in there, Zaha when he's fit, and they clearly missed him today. I think Palace will be fine this season. There's no way they're getting relegated. I don't think they'll even be close. They've had a very tough start this season, and they've been drawing. They haven't been beaten solidly, have they? So fair play to them. Let's talk about Arsenal. So, 2 goals conceded today from 2 mistakes in midfield. Partey is the culprit for the first one. Just look, I'm not saying he's not got any quality. Of course, Thomas Partey is arguably technically gifted and one of the best midfielders we've had at the club in a long time. He just wasn't aware. He just wasn't aware of the player behind him. I think it was Ayew. Just snuck up and nicked the ball off him. And then, of course, they've gone on and scored it. With the second goal, I think it was Sambi. He's just been caught with the ball. Just kind of, he felt like he was in control. And he just wasn't. And then they hit us and score. So if you put aside those 2 mistakes, did Crystal Palace have any other big chances? Yeah, a couple of chances. So I'm not putting this down to, it's 2 mistakes, 2 goals conceded, otherwise we were fine. It doesn't really work for me, that kind of excuse tonight. But sometimes that can be a thing. You can literally lose a game due to a couple of mistakes. And whilst that's technically true today, I do feel like Crystal Palace probably would have scored another way. 2 very, very poor goals to concede. The first goal that went in today was, of course, Aubameyang's tap-in. I feel very conflicted because I feel like Lacazette came on and offered so much more and, of course, got the equaliser. But Aubameyang's been scoring. It's 3 home games in a row he's scored now. It's very difficult to say, oh, there you go, Lacazette should start now ahead of Aubameyang. I don't know if there's a way to get them playing together week in, week out, but it's somewhat worked today. I think Arteta got that right to take Ødegaard off, who was having a poor game, in my opinion, and then to bring Lacazette in a slightly deeper role. He was basically playing where Ødegaard would like to play, and that's behind the striker, but Ødegaard was playing a bit deeper today, and it just doesn't suit him. I think it's very clear to me that Partey, as the solo, quote-unquote, solo defensive midfielder, it's not going to work. And I hate this whole, but he scores for Ghana at the week. He scored 2 goals for Ghana on international duty, and yeah, he did, but against who? No, it sounds bad, but he clearly plays a very different role for Ghana. He's their talisman, and I don't even think he really plays as a defensive unit there. When he plays for Arsenal, we're clearly just relying on him to sweep up and be that defensive rock, but he can't do that alone, and that's where Granit Xhaka, no coincidence, Xhaka was partnering him when we battered Tottenham, and since then we haven't really done anything. So, yeah, I think Sambi came on in the second half for Saka, and we're going to get on to why Saka was taken off. Sambi just didn't look quite at the races today. I think he's a very raw talent, but you cannot tell me that this isn't a bit of a sideways step when it comes to a player like Guendouzi, who we're comfortable selling for £10 million. Have you seen how good he's been for Marseille? Just this weekend, scoring 2, assisting a goal. He's got more goal contributions than any other Arsenal midfielder this season combined. It's pretty crazy. I don't think Sambi offers anything more than Guendouzi did, and of course we hear these attitude issues, but yeah, I'm not too sure if Sambi's quite there yet, but you can see there's a player in there, but he's ultimately made a mistake and cost us today, so that's a little bit disappointing, but it's just another example of why I don't think we should be lining up like we did today with Partey as the only central midfielder that really did try and help out the defence. With Ødegaard coming deeper, he's not got that physical presence, he's not got that defensive mind, he's an attacking player. Smith Rowe does his best to get back, but again, he's an attacking threat. What is his best attribute? For me, Smith Rowe has that quick turn on him. He's so good at turning and running at the defence and receiving a pass and being technical on the ball. Again, an attacking player, and we're asking him to sit back if Ødegaard goes forward. It's just very unbalanced. Now, I'm not a manager by any means, but I think we could all see that today. This wasn't working. It wasn't. And we looked better in the second half after the break, because after the first 10 minutes, when we 1-0 up, first 15 minutes, at no point did we then go on and look like the better team. For the rest of this game, we might have matched them at times, but ask yourself this, Arsenal fans, at any point today at this home game, reminding you, again, this is a home fixture at the Emirates, packed and loud. There was a great atmosphere there. At any point after going 1-0 up, did we look like the better team? I think, maybe we matched them at some points throughout the match, but realistically, we weren't even the better team at any point. So, yeah, it's frustrating because today was a great opportunity to, I think, get the win tonight, get the win on Friday against Aston Villa, and we're up there. Genuinely, we're up there. I mean, how? How has that happened? Now, one thing I want to touch on as well, just before we get on to the Saka incident, or MacArthur incident, or Mike Dean incident, I should say. What's happened to this whole tactic of playing it down the left for Tierney? Now, hear me out on this. It's going to be difficult for me to get it out there. There's a lot of thoughts going on in my mind right now. But let's bring in Tomiyasu to this discussion, who was our player of the month. He has been great for us. I thought tonight he was arguably a little bit poor at times. He has been brought in clearly not to be this out-and-out offensive wing-back like Tierney is. A lot of the time when Arsenal have the ball, we're in possession, we're looking to get forward, Tomiyasu tucks in. And then you have Ben White shift into the middle, and Gabriel is effectively a left-back. I mean, honestly, if you look at the positioning of our defenders, that's what happens. They all shift, and Tierney pushes down the left. That was what we were doing for God knows how long this season. The first few games, it was quite literally, and I mean it, quite literally, the only tactic we could genuinely use. It was the only one we could see as viewers of the game. It was Tierney, down the left, cross it in. It wasn't working. Tonight, that would have worked. I honestly believe that Crystal Palace, whilst they've got some good players, defensively, they're not the strongest team, and Ward at right back is gettable. So why were we focusing it down the right side with Pepe, who kept losing the ball? And yeah, okay, we scored because of a break down that right side, and Pepe and Tomiyasu have some good link-up play, but it never happened again. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. We're doing this tactic, we then invest in players to then make that tactic arguably better, and then we just ditch that tactic. Tierney, I think maybe once or twice in this whole game, was able to run into space in behind. In the first few games of the season, he was doing it all the time, and whilst it wasn't working, I think tonight it probably would have, which is the funniest thing. But enough of the tactics and stuff like that. Can we just have a quick word on Mike Dean's performance tonight? Now, yes, I'm an Arsenal fan. Yes, I'm a bit peeved off with Mike Dean in the past. We don't need to talk about that. You all know what I mean. Tonight, I thought he was horrendous. There were some decisions, and to be fair to the guy, I actually quite like Mike Dean, having seen a few interviews with him. I saw there's a YouTube video with Tubes from Sky Sports. He did the golf thing with him. He's a nice guy, and I think he gets a lot of stick for sometimes not anything that's his fault. Today, though, MacArthur, first of all, when he didn't get that yellow card for pulling, I can't remember who it was it Tomiyasu? I don't know. He should have got a yellow card, and Mike Dean just said, no, it's fine, whatever, play on. And then, if there's any kids watching tonight, watching that game, if you're trying to work out what you can and can't do in football, this is breaking news for you, okay? It is now totally okay, after the whistle has blown, to just kick someone on their standing leg whilst the ball is in the air and get away with it. It's just a yellow card, If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. There's a lot of people saying it's not a red card. Now, I also can understand that maybe he was looking just at the ball. It was coming down. He's about to volley it. But if you watch the game back, watch that clip in normal speed, the whistle's gone, the ball's in the air, and he's kicked out at Saka, who is standing on that leg. And guess what? Saka doesn't come on in the second half. He's got straps around his leg. He's clearly going to have a serious bruise there. It was disgusting. Minimum, that's a yellow card, but in my opinion, it's dangerous. And the whistle's gone. You send someone off for that. I honestly, ask yourself this, even if you're not an Arsenal fan, if that was David Luiz kicking out Zaha, what do you think would have happened? 1,000,000% he was getting sent off. I don't know how MacArthur's not even... I don't know how he wasn't even on a yellow by then. So that changes the game, but it's not an excuse because we weren't good enough on the night. To finish up this video, it's quite a long one. Typically, I run out of things to say by about 10 minutes, but I do want to say a few things on Arteta because, he still has his doubters, and I still really like Arteta. There's nothing I want more than Arteta to do well. That North London derby, seeing him so happy on the side, it's just brilliant, okay? I think now that we've rescued the point, it does help a little bit. If we lost this game, it is a different mood. Ultimately, we haven't lost tonight, even though we should have. I think I'm kind of getting into that territory again where, after the international break, I said, look, he needs to win those 3 games, Norwich, Burnley, Tottenham. If he doesn't win those 3 games, it's probably not going to be good enough. I'm almost getting back there now. Brighton and now this. It's tough because they're tricky fixtures, but they're winnable, and I feel like Arteta, no matter what I say, no matter what the fans think, he's going to have the rest of the season regardless. I just feel like there's something missing, especially on the attack. I think Ben White, Gabriel, great partnership. I think Tomiyasu has been a great addition. Defensively, I think we're okay. I really do. I don't think the defence did anything wrong tonight. It came down to the midfield making mistakes and, of course, just a lack of numbers in that midfield, but also it's coming down to the fact that our attackers just can't seem to consistently make good chances. Are we being unlucky? Tierney hitting the bar, and sometimes we're seeing goalkeepers turn into prime Manuel Neuers, and it seems to always happen against Arsenal. I don't know what else to say other than we just look toothless in attack, and that's a big problem. And I think this time next year, if we don't have a shiny new striker, it's going to be a big issue. I really do believe that. But like I just said, ultimately it's another point when we should have lost. So you could argue this is +1, but really before this game, Arsenal fans, including myself, would have expected a win, and I thought we were going to get it when we were 1-0 up. We started so well, but didn't quite pan out. Again, though, I want to finish by saying Crystal Palace fans should be proud of their team. They're doing so much better than anyone expected, and Patrick Vieira, I wish nothing but the best for him. What an absolute legend of the club. And actually, at times, I was thinking, could we swap manager for this game and just see what it's like? You know, having my midfield legend at the helm. Arteta's a great player, but come on, like, Arteta, Vieira, I wouldn't mind having a little swapperoo for a bit, just to test it out. Yeah, good on Patrick Vieira. Good luck to him. Good luck to Crystal Palace. I'm a big fan of the club. And we get back to winning on Friday, okay? Aston Villa not looking great this season. We have to beat them.